is darkest and I feel weary, I'm not alone, 'cause you are with me. A new day is coming, I see light, and the sun will rise, and hope is alive. Yeah. No matter what tomorrow brings, I know that you'll be by my side all the time. You'll never leave me. When shadows fall, I will have no fear, 'cause you're right here. When the night is darkest and I feel weary, I'm not alone, 'cause you are with me. A new day is coming, I see a light, and the sun will rise, and hope is alive. Yeah. No matter what tomorrow brings, I know that you'll be by my side all the time. You'll never leave me. When shadows fall, I will have no fear, 'cause you're right here. When the night is darkest and I feel weary, I'm not alone, 'cause you are with me. A new day is coming, I see light, and the sun will rise, and hope is alive. You are a light that makes a way when I am lost. You love with everything you have, no matter the cost. You are my hope and I will trust you with all my life. You are a light that makes a way when I am lost. You love with everything you have, no matter the cost. You are my hope and I will trust you with all my life. When the night is darkest and I feel weary, I'm not alone, 'cause you are with me. A new day is coming, I see a light. When the night is darkest and I feel weary, I'm not alone, 'cause you are with me. A new day is coming, I see a light, and the sun will rise, and hope is alive. Yeah, hope is alive.
Here you go.
Thanks. Welcome to Story Lab. This week, we're talking about humility while we take a look at the most terrible and most amazing event in history.
Hey, I'm Skylar.
And I'm Sebastian.
We're talking about humility, which is putting others first by giving up what you think you deserve.
And we're also celebrating the most amazing example of humility ever.
Easter! How are you celebrating?
I practice my crafty skills. Oh, Easter tree, how lovely are your branches.
An egg tree. I love it!
What are you doing to celebrate?
My mom makes these really awesome hot cross buns for Easter breakfast, but they take forever. So I found a super quick recipe for resurrection rolls.
Why are they called resurrection rolls?
I think we gotta bake some to find out why.
Well then, let's bake it.
Step 1, open a tube of crescent roll dough.
Oh, can I do it?
Be my guest.
I love this part. Okay, just wait for this. What now?
Step 2, take a marshmallow, Then dip it in melted butter. Then you're gonna wanna roll it in some cinnamon sugar.
I like my sugar with sugar.
Step 3, place each marshmallow on the wide end of the dough. Then you're gonna wrap it up tightly. Then tuck in the ends.
Do we do all of them?
Yep, and you can roll them up if you want to.
That's it?
Well, they have to bake for about 11 minutes.
Well, that's just enough time for...
The story before the story.
Today, we're in John, the 4th book in the New Testament.
But before John, in the very beginning, out of a deep, deep love, God made an amazing world.
But when people turned away from God, the world was broken.
God made a plan to draw people back into relationship. So, at the right time, God sent his very own son, Jesus.
When Jesus grew up, he traveled from town to town, teaching and healing. People were ready to make him king.
But when Jesus came to Jerusalem for the Passover festival, the religious leaders made plans to get rid of him.
At a special Passover meal with his friends, Jesus shared one way people would know his followers, by their love.
Which is where our story starts.
Take it away.
Hey everyone, I'm Chloe. The story we're telling today is epic. It includes the very worst and the very best moments ever. So strap in for the ride. After the Passover meal, Jesus led his friends across a valley to a garden called Gethsemane. While Jesus was praying, a group of religious leaders and soldiers entered the garden. They were led by one of Jesus' closest friends, Judas. Jesus knew why they had come, and he didn't try to run, even though he could have called angels to defend him.
Who do you want?
Jesus of Nazareth.
I am he.
Jesus actually allowed the soldiers to arrest him. Terrified, his friends ran away or followed at a distance. Even Peter, who had promised he would rather die than desert Jesus. Jesus was brought to stand before the father-in-law of the high priest, and then Caiaphas, the high priest himself. Witnesses told lies about him.
Aren't you going to answer? Tell us if you are the Messiah, the Son of God.
You have said so. From now on, you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the Mighty One.
Jesus had just claimed to be God's son. It was what the religious leaders were waiting for. But they couldn't sentence him to die, so they sent him to the Roman governor Pilate. Pilate questioned Jesus and couldn't find that he had done anything wrong, so he brought him out to the crowd.
I find no basis for any charge against him. Do you want me to set him free?
The mob wouldn't listen to reason, so Pilate had Jesus whipped to try to satisfy them. Soldiers wrapped a purple robe around Jesus and placed a crown of thorns on his head to mock him. Then, Pilate brought Jesus out again.
Here he is. I don't find he's done anything wrong.
Crucify him! Crucify him!
Crucify him!
Pilate didn't believe Jesus was guilty, but he also wanted to keep the Jewish leaders happy. So, he sent Jesus to be killed by crucifixion. Jesus even had to carry his own heavy wooden cross through the dusty streets of Jerusalem. Outside the city walls, on the barren hill of Golgotha, Jesus was nailed to the cross. The soldiers placed him between two common thieves. Though most of Jesus' followers were hiding, his mother Mary and several others huddled below to see what would happen. At noon, darkness settled over the land. At last, Jesus cried out.
It is finished.
Then he bowed his head and died. The earth shook. Rocks split wide open. It was the deepest, darkest moment the world has ever known. God's very own son had chosen to give up his life. A follower of Jesus named Joseph from Arimathea took Jesus' body and laid it in his own tomb cut out of rock. A heavy stone was rolled across the entrance. Through the darkness of Friday and Saturday, Jesus' friends hid out, afraid the religious leaders might come for them too. But early Sunday morning, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb with special spices to place on Jesus' body. When she arrived in the garden, she discovered the stone had been removed, and the tomb was empty. After the terrible events of the last few days, Mary had no idea what to think. She ran to the place where Jesus' disciples were staying.
They have taken the Lord out of the tomb, and we don't know where they have put him.
Peter and John raced ahead to see what had happened. The tomb was empty, just as Mary had told them. The linen cloths that had been wrapped around Jesus' body lay limp on the stone. Confused, the men left, but Mary had reached the tomb again. In the growing light, she leaned down to look inside, tears clouding her vision. This time, the tomb was not empty. 2 brilliant angels sat there. When Mary turned away, she saw a man standing nearby.
Woman, why are you crying?
Through her tears, Mary thought he must be a gardener.
Sir, did you carry my Lord away? Tell me where you have put him.
Mary.
As Jesus spoke her name, Mary was overcome with joy. She threw herself at his feet.
Teacher!
Gently, Jesus lifted her up.
Do not hold on to me. Instead, go to those who believe in me. Tell them I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God.
All the darkness of the last few days was swept away. Mary rushed to find Jesus' friends.
I have seen the Lord.
Jesus' return to life doesn't just mean that he was alive again. It means we don't have to be afraid of death anymore. It means that everything wrong will one day be made right again. It means that anyone who believes in and follows Jesus can have life forever with God. The end.
Now that is a story.
With an incredible ending.
So, what's our part in the story?
It's so important to really look at what Jesus did. He's God's son, and yet he chose to become a human and walk here on earth with us. He experienced everything we do, joy and sorrow and pain and temptation, yet he never did anything wrong. And then he chose to give up his life.
For us.
When we believe in Jesus and that God raised him back to life, when we follow him, God takes Jesus' perfect life in place of all the wrong things we've done. God promises that death won't be the end for us. Because of Jesus, we can live forever with him.
I feel like celebrating now.
Me too.
Me 3, for sure. See you next time.
So here's the thing. Celebrate because Jesus is alive.
Bon appetit. Hey, wait a minute. There's nothing in here.
Yep, the marshmallow's gone.
Oh, like the empty tomb on Easter morning.
I knew you'd get there. Thanks for joining us in the Story Lab.
See you next time. Oh, really good.
Hallelujah, it's Easter time. It's the best time of the year. Time to take an egg and plant it in the ground. Let's see what happens now. Ooh.
What are you doing, John?
Shh, just wait.
For what? An egg tree to grow?
Eggs don't grow on trees, Brandon. You know what? Maybe it needs a little water. Mm-hmm. Here we go.
What are we... How How did that?
Happy Easter!
We did.
You just water it.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brandon.
And I'm John, and welcome to a very special day here on the So and So Show.
Yes, that's right. We're celebrating Easter.
Woo! Yes, and we decided to start the celebrations off strong today with a little Easter-themed fun.
Let's do it.
All right! Our first game shall be the traditional, iconic Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, but this is no ordinary egg hunt. Inside each egg are instructions that we must follow before being allowed to move on to search for more eggs.
Yes.
The person to collect the most eggs before the music ends wins.
So it's not traditional.
Not so much.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Woo!
I found one.
Oh, you did? Already?
Here we go. Here you. Quack like a duck. Quack, quack, quack.
Okay,
Quack.
do 5 jumping jacks
Quack.
while saying things that go along with Easter. Okay, bunnies, candy, Jesus, springtime, ham. Let's see, I found one right here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Whoa. Okay, that works.
Chocolate bunnies! Chocolate bunnies! Chocolate bunnies!
Let's see, balance an egg on your nose. That's easy. Look at that. Okay. Hooray! Oh! Hey! Okay.
Arise, my love. Arise, my love.
All right, here we go. A tie! Well, that won't last long. Next game!
You want to go first?
You
or
go
want
first.
Me go first? Okay, stay still. Oh, way off. Yeah, here we go. Got it. You hit the ear though.
Hit the ear.
All right. Okay, we must follow the bunny trail and race to the finish, all while being pummeled by eggs.
You're the bunny. Be the bunny. I am the bunny. No! Oh, no! I am a faster bunny than Brandon! I am a faster bunny than Brandon! No! Oh! Hey, you ready, Brandon?
Oh, I was born ready.
Really? That seems a bit strange.
No, it's just a saying. Yes, I'm ready.
Oh, good! Because it's war, baby! Peep war!
All right.
Play! Oh. Nope. Yes, look at that! 3 and 1.
Who won?
I don't know.
Well, how do we decide?
I don't know.
You want to have a rematch?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, me too.
It's Bible story time with Kellen!
Hey guys,
Hey, Kellen.
Happy Easter, Kellen.
happy Easter everyone. Are you guys ready to hear the most epic Bible story ever?
Absolutely.
Yeah, sounds amazing. Take it away.
Well, like I've talked about before, Jesus is God's son who came to earth over 2,000 years ago. He traveled all over Israel with his followers, teaching people about God's kingdom and healing people of diseases. He taught people how to be generous, he taught them how to pray, and he taught the most important commandment, which is to love God and to love one another. But He wasn't just sent to earth to do those things. He had a very special mission to save the world and to make it possible for people to have a relationship with God.
A revelation that would last forever.
Hi.
Hi yourself.
I was just about to tell everyone the epic story of Jesus' ultimate mission on earth.
And I was just about to go behind the Bible. Jesus and his followers traveled all over Israel. His fame was growing, and people began wanting to make him their king. But the religious leaders didn't like this. They felt threatened by Jesus and wanted to get rid of him. So, when Jesus and his disciples traveled to Jerusalem for the Passover festival, the religious leaders hatched their plan.
We were in the Garden of Gethsemane, and Jesus had been praying. Me and some other disciples, James and John, we were just exhausted, could barely keep our eyes open. We might have fell asleep a couple of times, but Jesus kept insisting on praying. I honestly didn't understand why we could not just go to bed. We'd done the Passover meal. Why were we staying up so late to pray? But then we heard them. This crowd of people coming with torches and weapons, and there were all these soldiers, and Judas, someone we thought was our friend, was leading them. Jesus asked them, "Who do you want?" And somebody said, "Jesus of Nazareth." So Jesus said, "I am he." And then they all just fell to the ground. He could have escaped, but he didn't.
That's important to remember. Jesus was so powerful and in control the whole time. But he chose to let the soldiers arrest him. He knew that this was all a part of God's plan and a part of his mission.
And it was a mission he would face alone.
When they arrested Jesus, all of my friends, they all just ran away. Me and one other disciple followed him at a distance. I was determined that I would never abandon him like the others.
They followed Jesus to the home of the high priest. While Jesus was being questioned, Peter waited in a courtyard outside. When asked if he was a follower of Jesus, Peter denied knowing him.
I denied knowing Jesus, my friend, my Lord. 3 times I denied him.
Jesus was questioned by the high priest, and he was found guilty even though he'd done nothing wrong. Then Jesus was handed over to the Roman governor for punishment, a man named Pontius Pilate.
I wasn't sure what to think of this Jesus of Nazareth. I couldn't find him guilty of any crimes. I told the people I believed he was innocent. But the crowd kept shouting for me to crucify him, to put Jesus to death. And I didn't want to upset the people, so I ordered him to be crucified.
2 other men, criminals, were crucified next to Jesus, one on each side. And after a few long hours, Jesus died.
Jesus gave up his life. He died on the cross as a payment for the sins of the world. He made a way for us to have a relationship with God again. His mission to save the world involved laying down his life so that we could truly live.
But that wasn't the end of the story.
No, it wasn't. Carry on.
2 men took Jesus' body and wrapped it in linen cloth. They put him in a tomb outside a garden and sealed it shut with a large stone. 2 days later, one of Jesus' followers, Mary Magdalene, went to the tomb.
I got there first thing in the morning, and the stone had been moved away from the entrance. So I told Peter and John, and they raced to the tomb as fast as they could.
So I walked into the tomb, and I was shocked. It was empty, except for the cloth Jesus' body was wrapped in. We didn't know what to think. Who would take a body?
Peter and John went back to where they were staying, and I went to the tomb. When I went inside, I saw 2 angels dressed in white sitting where Jesus' body had been. They spoke to me. They asked me, "Why are you crying?" And then I turned around and I saw who I thought was the gardener. He asked me who I was looking for, and I said, "Sir, did you carry him away? Where did you put him?" And then he said, "Mary." Then I knew. He wasn't the gardener. He was Jesus. He was alive. He was dead, but now he's alive.
Mary went to the disciples and told them what she had seen. She said, "I have seen the Lord." Man, can you imagine what they must have thought? Were they happy? Were they confused? Were they unsure?
No, they were scared.
Oh.
The disciples were all together hidden behind locked doors, afraid that if Jesus could be killed, they might be next. It was hard to believe what Mary told them unless they saw it with their own eyes. They would soon get that chance.
We were huddled together when all of a sudden, Jesus just shows up right there in the room with us. He said, "May peace be with you." And I'm like, yes, peace is what we need. He showed us the wounds where he'd been hurt on the cross. It was really him, alive from the dead.
Jesus, the Son of God and Savior of the world, gave his life to save us. And on the 3rd day, Jesus rose again. Not even death could stop him. This has been Behind the Bible.
When Jesus came back to life, he not only defeated death for himself, he defeated the power of death for everyone. And that's why we celebrate Easter.
That was amazing.
Hey, you were right, Kellen. That was epic. Seriously, the best Bible story. Jesus was so humble. He could have chosen himself over us and saved himself, but he didn't.
Nope.
And even though he was God's son, he still chose to lay down his life and serve and love others.
Yep. On Easter, we celebrate his love, his sacrifice, and his resurrection. He is alive, and we can have a relationship with him.
That is definitely the best reason to celebrate.
Oh, and speaking of celebrations, I've got to get going. I have my own celebration plans to get to.
Have fun. Thanks, Kellen.
Happy Easter, buddy.
You too. I'll see you next time.
I wonder what his plans are.
I don't know. I wonder what everyone's plans are today. Reveal the question. How do you celebrate Easter?
Yeah, perhaps you play some springtime games with bunnies and eggs like we did earlier.
Or maybe you like to read the story of Easter, or spend time listening to music.
Or eating a meal with people you love, loving others the way Jesus taught us to.
There's so many ways to celebrate the good news that Jesus is alive.
Hey, no matter how you celebrate, we hope you have a very happy Easter. I'm John.
And I'm Brandon, and this was the So-and-So Show.
Happy Easter!
Woo!
So how you feeling today? You feeling pretty good? Are you excited it's Easter? Tweet, tweet.
What's your name?
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess Sal.
I think it's Squeaky. I think
Squeaky,
it's Squeak,
okay.
Squeak.
Oh, Tori.
Oh, Tori.
I'm gonna catch you, Tori.